In this video, we're going to talk about the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and we're going to go through all of the features that make this drone unique because it's very similar to the DJI Mini 3 Pro, but there's some new additions on this version that really make it a much better drone. All right, let's get into it. So when you look at the DJI Mini 4 Pro to the Mini 3 Pro, they're a very similar drone. They have the same sensor and same camera. So it's a 1 1/3 inch sensor with a 24mm lens on the front of it. Now this lens opens up to an aperture of 1.7, and the sensor is a 48 megapixel sensor that allows you to shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second in video, and you get photos at a resolution of 8064 by 6048. Now also with this sensor, it's a dual native ISO sensor. Now also with this camera, it can rotate vertically. So if you are someone who shoots vertical style content, then this camera has a native vertical shooting. And also the big thing with this size drone is that it's under the 250 gram limit. So depending on where you're at in the world, this drone stays under that standard. And even with the upgrades on the DJI Mini 4 Pro, when you use the lightweight battery, it still is under the 250 gram limit. And being that this drone is in the Mini lineup of drones, it's tiny. The batteries and the drone itself are so small that they can fit into your bag, but you can still get pro looking footage out of this drone. And with the Mini 4 Pro, you can get even better looking footage. And the first major upgrade in this drone is that now you have access to D-Log-M. Having a log profile gives you more dynamic range when you're filming so that when you bring it into your editing software, you can do more color grading and get a much better look out of your footage. And this is definitely a pro setting that you're gonna find in the Air 3, the Mavic 3, and basically every other big drone. And so now DJI has given us D-Log-M in the Mini 4 Pro. So if you are mixing this footage with other cameras, it'll be a lot easier to integrate, and you'll also be able to just color grade your footage and have a better look out of everything that you're shooting. So here's two examples of this ridge line. This is on the left, normal, and on the right is D-Log-M. And now here's the D-Log-M color graded with a LUT that I've built specifically for D-Log-M. And if you are someone who's going to be shooting D-Log-M in your drones, then I'll include a link down below in the description to my set of drone LUTs, and I've built them specifically for D-Log-M so you can get a better look out of your footage faster and be able to get a cinematic look across all of your footage. I also have a set of adventure LUTs which work with any camera, which is what I'm editing this A-roll with, and they also work for drones as well. Now, another big feature of the Mini 4 Pro is you have 360 obstacle avoidance. And this unlocks a lot of potential with this camera. So now you never have to worry about running into something because when you're flying in cine or normal mode, the drone has all of the sensors turned on and it basically could see what's in front of it, what's behind it, what's to the sides, what's above, what's below. It's got 360 obstacle avoidance, meaning that it's not gonna run into anything. So as you can see here, I'm going right towards this bush. The drone just stops. And if you're doing that to the side, to the back, to the front, doesn't matter. The drone is always gonna stop. So it gives you more security when you're out flying, knowing that your drone is not gonna run into anything when you have the sensors turned on. And with this 360 obstacle avoidance, it unlocks a lot of features with the active track. So now you can track yourself from any direction. When you turn on active track by drawing a box around your subject, you have the tracking, the spotlight, and the point of interest. Now, when you go into tracking, you have trace and parallel. However, over here on the left-hand side, you have now what's called Active Track 360. And this is a feature that's only in the Mini 4 Pro as of the time of recording this video. And what this allows you to do is draw on this map of where you want the drone to go, and it's automatically gonna make that movement. So if I'm behind myself and I want the drone to go in front, I could just draw on this graph an arc and the drone will move in that direction while it's still tracking. And also it does distance away from your subject. So if you want to be closer, you draw this arrow closer to your subject, or if you want to be further, you draw it further away, and then the drone will circle out and around and find its position and then continue to track from that side of your subject. So this is super useful because if you're flying in one direction and you say you're tracking from the front, well, now you can swing the drone around to the side and have it be a natural movement without even having to touch the thumbsticks, and the drone will automatically move for you and then continue to track. So it just makes tracking so much easier, It gives you a lot of tools to play with when you are tracking a subject. Now with tracking, you could still do everything else that you can on the Air 3 or the Mavic 3 or any of other DJI's drones. So if you don't want your subject always right in the center, you could slide them off to the side, or you can rotate the gimbal up and down, and the drone will continue to track that subject where you put them in the frame. Now also, while you're tracking, you could use slow motion. So you could shoot in 4K up to 100 frames per second in this drone, and you could do it while you're tracking a subject. So if you're following something that's moving super fast and you want that slow motion effect, well, you have access to use your tracking while filming in that mode. Now DJI has also enabled night mode on this drone. So just as in the Air 3, you could fly at night and get a much cleaner, better looking shot. And with that, on the Mini 4 Pro, you have a landing light on the bottom. And so you could use this when you're in darker situations to be able to see where you're landing. Also, you could just turn it on and have a light in the sky if you need that for any reason. So this drone now has some more features that allow you to fly her in darker situations. Now, another big upgrade with the Mini 4 Pro is that this setup uses 04 transmission. So this can go up to 20 kilometers away, or 12 miles, which is a huge distance for a drone. Now, you're probably not gonna be flying 12 miles away, but what that means is that you're gonna be getting a better video signal when you're out flying. And it transmits a 1080p 60 frames per second image. And when you're out flying with that 04, it's just gonna be clear and you're not gonna have dropouts when you're flying around wherever you're at. So is this a good drone to get or not? Well, I'm sure a lot of you are curious on what the price is of this drone. So just the Mini 4 Pro, if you already have a controller, is $759. And if you want it with the RC2, it's $959. If you want the Fly More combo, it's $1,099. And if you want the Mini 4 long battery life Fly More combo, it's $1159. And you can see here's the comparison to the prices of the Mini 3 Pro. So it's a little bit more expensive, but you definitely get more features for that price. And so if you're someone who's gonna be tracking often with this drone, or you're someone that needs log in this size drone, I think this is a perfect upgrade. Or if it's your first drone, this is a great one to start with. It's definitely a drone that I'm gonna take with me when I'm traveling, and I really need to keep my bag super small. And so if you want more information about the Mini 4 Pro, I'll include a link down below in the description. And if you're someone who wants to be a creator and grow a YouTube channel, make sure you head over to the Creator Film School. And next, check out this video right here, which goes through a bunch of different drone moves to be able to get some cinematic looking footage out of any drone like the Mini 4 Pro. I'll see you over there.